Piloswine is a Pokemon that could have had a bigger impact on the meta of Evolution Cup if Vigoroth was not around, but to be fair, you can always play it with proper team building, and Streets and Yellow, who has submitted today's battles, is gonna have not only a YouTube channel for you to check out, but also the proper team to use around your Piloswine. So now, without any further ado, cue the intro. Piloswine against the world, and we're having Primeape to start off the video. Obviously we need to switch out of here as soon as possible because Primeape can connect for big damage any of its moves, even the fast attacks on our ice typing, so Golbat will come in as the perfect safe switch for this exact line. What we want to do here is to survive the first move perhaps and then keep pushing, but our opponent is gonna throw the X-Scissor perhaps for the bait. However, this is not gonna be the wise choice overall because they still have to sacrifice more energy in the process. Our trainer here will see the chance to go ahead and push for the second shield after the first Poison Fang. Here is the second, and down they go. This is pretty big because now we can have the perfect alignment against our opponent. Piloswine now can go in and have a totally different scenario because now we can also wall down that Primeape with our Togetic. Here comes the switch from both ends, and of course we're gonna have here the upper hand. So Fairy Wind at this point is gonna do a little bit of extra damage when compared to Steel Wing, but if you have a Steel Wing version which happens to be the Legacy, you can get a lot more benefits anyways. However, right here we're just gonna keep going in there with those Fairy Wind charging up. Our RLS is super fast and we're gonna get there in no time at all. Primeape is out of existence now. Let's see if they can do something with their own Togetic, but we can't push them in throwing some energy here because otherwise we could do massive damage at them with a simple Ancient Power. So at this point we're just gonna reach to the Avalanche and Piloswine will connect for lethal damage against the Togetic of our opponent. Into the next battle now, and we're facing Piloswine on the mirror. Are you kidding me? This is the battle of the Ice Ages. We're just gonna go here for the Avalanche because this is the only move that we can practically press over here, and right after we're just gonna keep going at it. Our opponent is just gonna let themselves take the first move, which gives us some time to charge up a little bit more, and of course we will sacrifice, I believe, 2 shields here. No, we're not able to farm down completely, but they're gonna do exactly the same. That was a pretty risky incident from our trainer who submitted those battles, but still, as it seems, we can have kinda the upper hand no matter what because their backline is super weak to our Togetic. So by blocking here the potential Ice Punch, we can have the upper hand, but our opponent decides to go for the bait and the Night Slash. Could they have no Ice Punch on that Primeape? That would have been pretty fun. But on this scenario, I do not think that it is gonna work because you definitely want Ice Punch for those flyers on the Primeape. Anyways, our opponent is still gonna go for those Night Slashes, and as it seems, we can still go ahead and finish them off in no time at all with that Aerial Ace. Whatever they throw here, we can potentially go ahead and push even more with the moves, but they end up going with a wrap. Are you kidding me? And now Golbat will emerge into the battle to finish off things with a simple Shadow Ball. So I believe that this is not gonna be another wrap, but it is gonna be a wrap for this battle with those double Poison Fangs coming along the way. Oh, as it seems they left the battle, so yeah, we're just gonna take this victory anyways. Into the next one now with a very bad lead once again, but this time against the most common threat of Evolution Cup, Vigoroth. So here is where the backline can come in as a solid one to cover that weakness that Piloswine is having, and especially against the fighters. Going aggressively in there with your Golbat while keeping at the same time that Togetic as a second anti-fighting option. So Bot Slam at this point will be blocked because they farmed a little bit extra, so a Rock Slide could have easily been imminent, and our opponent is still gonna stay into the battle, not gonna switch out, which means that at the back perhaps they have another severe counter to our Piloswine. Our opponent will get to another Bot Slam, so our trainer is still gonna get that no call on the shields, and this is absolutely awesome for us. Another Poison Fang before fainting here. And I really like our odds because now a simple avalanche might actually do the trick against the bulky ghost type 4th evolution cap. So Piloswine is going in, and of course we are not gonna block anything, I believe, at this point, unless they have return. Oh my goodness, they do. Are you kidding me? So now on the Switch we're meeting up with a Primeape once again. So many Primeapes on these very first battles on today's content, and we're gonna have the upper hand with Togetic. The aerial ace is coming up, able to do so much damage on the fighter, and as it seems they are playing an ABA team style, our opponent I mean, because they're having a fighter which is a pseudo one but still a fighter up in front, another counter user at the back on the face of Primeape, and in between they're gonna use Dusclops. And to be fair, the core of Dusclops and Vigoroth is gonna be the most solid one that you can use, to be fair. So yeah, why not give it a try as well? I'm giving it a shot and I'm rising every single day just a little bit of extra elo, which is absolutely awesome. So over here Piloswine will just finish off the job, and right after we're gonna have another Vigoroth up in front. As always, switching out to our Golbat while keeping Togetic as our second check, hard check to those fighters. Poison Fang now, because Shadow Ball is gonna do almost no damage at all, but still Poison Fang is gonna be our main way to go, and in combination with a few of those wing attacks we can still push for a shield at some point in the game. Are we gonna double block here? No, we are not able to call the move, but still they have the Rock Slide. This is what I enjoy about Golbat though, he can still survive the Rock Slide from Vigoroth and of course double resist those counters, which means that you can still have the upper hand even if you get hit by a similar Rock Slide. Anyways, our opponent will have the Hakamo, which is gonna get severely hard countered from our Tokekis, and let's see if they have a Primeape as well at the back. I'm just kidding, this is gonna be a Golbat in the end game, and of course this is gonna look kinda bad for us because of those Poison Fangs, but good news is that we can always take the first one while we can still start pushing for those Ancient Powers, and two of those Ancient Powers can absolutely do the trick over here. We managed to get the big boost on our Togetic, which is pretty good news for us, and right after we can finish off not only the Golbat but also with a simple aerial ace, that Vigoroth. So now all of a sudden we're gonna emerge into the battle with our Piloswine, able to call the bait here, absolutely awesome, and of course one avalanche later that Golbat is out of its cave, and with a simple nice we're just gonna take this victory. Into the next one now with a Togetic up in front. Finally we catch a break with Piloswine, not a single fighter. On the Switch we're having the upper hand here, and even if they get to the Ice Punch I'm pretty sure we can survive it with ease. Before we even survived the whole Rock Slide, so Ice Punch will not be such a big deal, but the second one might actually do the trick here, so we need to respect it. I really like how well our trainer over here did not throw the Poison Fang, because they realized they were gonna lose the CMP, so with that in mind able to farm down completely, get more energy on their side, and of course Golbat here is gonna be dominating even the next matchup with the Vigoroth, since we can go ahead and push even more. Poison Fang here is gonna do so much work against Vigoroth, able to double drop their defense, and now our Togetic can easily go in and perhaps even completely farm down. This is how good Togetic is, but of course at this point we're just gonna go for the Ancient Power just in case they block, and they did. Absolutely awesome, they are afraid of our Togetic now. So Rock Slide is imminent, we're just gonna take it, it doesn't matter at all. At the very end they have a Togetic of their own, which happen to be their lead Pokemon, and of course they are kinda locked in the alignment here with our Piloswine, able to destroy down that egg-like flyer. Down it goes, and we're gonna take a very nice one for our team with another avalanche, this time up against Vigoroth. Let's see now what the next trainer has to offer, because Piloswine is really putting in the work. Dragonair now up against us, Vigoroth on the Switch, and of course we're gonna have the upper hand with our Golbat as always. So a lot of trainers are gonna use Vigoroth as a safe switch or as a safe lead overall, but almost no one is gonna use it at the very end. So this is something that you should always keep in mind when you're playing your Evolution Cup matches. Another Poison Fang is imminent from our side. But first we're gonna get hit by the body slam by our opponent. So if I were the Vigoroth, I would do always exactly that up against the Golbats, because you do not have to go for that Rock Slide against a non-Shadow Golbat. Go for the Rock Slide if the opponent has a Shadow one, because on the non-Shadow they can easily tank one Rock Slide, while you still have to sacrifice more energy in total when you go for a Rock Slide and a Body Slam. So double Body Slam is still gonna do almost the work, so just keep that in mind. Anyways, eventually we're gonna get farmed down by Charjabug, and Charjabug with energy and Tech Scissor is always troublesome even for our Piloswine over here. So at this point we're just gonna fire off the move, as it seems we had a little bit of extra lag, which means that they can farm a little bit of extra with that final Volt Switch, but it makes no difference because we still managed to go ahead and finish them off with those Powder Snows. One more Avalanche to one-shot down the Dragon type, and now let's move forward into the final one with another Shadow Dragonair, this time up in front. So those avalanches are gonna connect for big time damage, and all we have to do at this point is to block the potential Aqua Tails. So what I like about Shadow Dragonair and what I dislike at the same time is whenever I have it as my opponent, most of those Shadow Dragonairs decide to go for the double shield to maintain that switch advantage, and at the same time this Pokemon under shielding can provide a lot of pressure to those ice types as well, which is pretty great. I believe that in 2 shields Dragonair loses almost to nothing, which is absolutely insane. Anyways, this starts now to finish off our Golbat, but it doesn't matter, we still did a lot of work on their end. And I believe that Charjabug here is almost energy dry, so energy count on the perfect scale here for our trainer, and of course the Avalanche will finish them off in no time. Dragonair will follow the same fate, we got one more Avalanche ready to go, so now we're gonna bring our Togetic into play, try to do as much damage as possible to their end. Our opponent is gonna get to the Ancient Power, but as you can see we can easily handle that threat with a couple of Ancient Powers as well, and since they're gonna block at least once our moves, we're just gonna dominate any outcome with our final Avalanche that we have banked for the end game with our Piloswine. So here comes now the Ancient Power, we're just gonna do so much damage at them, and at some point they need to sacrifice the energy, and of course Piloswine will come into the battle right now, pressing the move, absolutely dominating the remaining HP that they have, and our trainer is just gonna be able to grab this final victory for today's content. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Over here I have 2 more videos to check out. Leave a like before you go, of course, subscribe to my channel or to this trainer, and I hope to catch you all up into the next one.